and a slam jam.
So as a follow-up video to my phase boots and treads video, quick video on why you'd go one or the other, I want to do a quick video on why you would go SnY and Yasha compared to Manta. Very similar items, and I want to talk about my brief thought process when I'm considering the items. So a key term I want to use when I think about SnY and Yasha is that it's a luxury item. Luxury items are stuff like Octarine Core, SnY and Yasha, Daedalus. These items don't actually change anything about what your hero does. It makes it so that your hero does exactly what it's already doing, but better. In the case of Daedalus, you're already doing damage, you don't get True Strike, you don't gain the ability to lock them down, you just do more damage. With Octarine Core, you're already a spellcaster, you're casting spells, doesn't really give you any mana regen, just makes it so you can cast them on a lower cooldown and be tankier while you're doing it. In the case of SnY and Yasha, let's read the stats. It gives you strength, so a bit of tankiness. It gives you agility, which is attack speed, 20% stash resistance, so you're locked down less, 16 attack speed. So you have 16 agility, 16 attack speed, so that adds up to 32 attack speed, 16 damage if you're strength or agility hero, 10% movement speed, which is obviously pretty nice. It's about 35 movement speed on most heroes after boots, and then you get your self HP regen and lifesteal amp. So if you notice, none of these things actually make your hero capable of doing things it wasn't previously able to do. And so when I look at heroes like Terrorblade, Naga, these illusion heroes that already have illusions, when I'm going to build SnY, it's because my illusions already do their job, and I don't need what Manta offers me. So when we look at Manta, yeah, it's nice, right? It does a decent amount of damage to Manta illusions, and it goes well with items like Diffusal, so it could be something for damage. But for the most part, when you're looking at Manta as an item, it costs 700 gold, or 600 gold, more expensive than SnY and Yasha. So it has to offer you something that SnY and Yasha doesn't. And for me, that's pretty much the active. I don't want to boil it down too simply, but for Jug, Manta is basically a BKB, because you can get rid of silences so that you can utilize your spin. For Naga and Terrorblade, it buys you that little bit of time to Sunder if you're Terrorblade, maybe that little bit of time to Song if you're Naga, maybe remove silences so that you can cast Mirror Image. Point is, if you're not an illusion hero like Morphling, you're gaining the ability to remove Spirit Vessel, Roots, Silences. If you're a hero like Luna, it may allow you to push waves very easily. If you're against a hero like Treant, it allows you to pop BKB, get rooted, and then use your Manta. Or just not have to buy a BKB and utilize Manta. So I see Manta as like a luxury version of a BKB, while I see, meaning that it gives you similar, like if it gives you similar survivability as a BKB, I like to go Manta. In games where it's like it's just a nice item for the hero, rather than the 10 strength and 24 damage that a BKB provides. It actually gives you attack speed, movement speed, all that kind of stuff. Well, SnY is just like, well, my hero's already gonna do everything it's gonna do. What do I mean by that? I mean, if I'm a Naga and I want to fight, or if I'm a PL and I want to fight, or I'm a Morphling and I want to fight, and Manta doesn't change anything. You know, I don't need lockdown because my team has a lot of stuns. I don't need a BKB because it's just overreacting, like it's just too defensive. Then SnY generally becomes the perfect item. It's also even better on heroes that want to build into the Satanic, obviously, because of the self HP regen as well as lifesteal amp. So naturally on heroes like Gyrocopter, it becomes a stronger consideration, even though Gyrocopter pretty much goes Axe. So notice how any hero that you usually don't see SnY, that they do build Satanic, such as Gyrocopter, is because SnY, like I said, doesn't change anything about your hero. So if that hero does have an item that they like to build that does change their game, in the case of Gyro, that's an Aghanim Scepter, they'll often skip out on the SnY. So when you see SnY compared to Manta, we have 10% movement speed compared to 8, and obviously 16 strength compared to 10. So we're looking at overall tankiness, the status resistance to survive stuns. So if I'm against BKB piercing stuns on a hero like Terrorblade, I'll usually lean towards SnY and Yasha. Say I'm against something like a Beastmaster. And the main emphasis I want to give, not to repeat myself too much, is that SnY and Yasha doesn't change the way I play the game, while Manta does change the way I play the game. It allows me to do something I couldn't previously do. So usually when you're going for that efficiency item, that item to let you fight just a little bit better, SnY and Yasha and Manta often are your strongest considerations on almost every agility carry. And obviously on Manta, you have to consider things like Radiance and Diffusal that buff it up to make it even stronger because your illusions benefit from the fact that you have a Manta. And that's really what boils down to my final decision when it comes to Sanjin, Yasha, and Manta. First off, I need this kind of luxury item, or this like kind of bolster item in a lot of ways. Like it helps me fight, helps me farm, does a little bit of everything. And then each one has its own little niche of which one I will choose based on what my hero needs in that game. So I wanted to do that